What's up, Croy?
Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Very well.
How was your off season?
Good, yeah. It was good to spend some time with the family.
Yeah.
And then plan 2010 and you know, start the ball rolling again. How about you? How was your off season?
It was good, yeah. Relaxing and a little cold though. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next year. And last year was fun. So.
It was fun. You had a great season last year.
Yeah, you as well, for sure. It was a good time.
So what's it like to lead the race all day? Like, what's the headspace like out the front there?
Yeah, it's tough sometimes, for sure. You know, you're out. You know, as far as this year in Hawaii, it was about halfway on the bike. I went off on my own, and at that point, it was like, as far as do it now or don't. And once you make that move, you just got to stick with it and go with it. So for me, it was just staying on track with my plan, staying on track with my power I was putting out, and just being as patient as I could, because, as you know, it's a long time out there.
Yeah.
So do you think that because of the gap that I was getting, do you think that the thought was Chris rode too hard and that I'm not a factor anymore because I went really hard and I was going to blow up type of deal, or did?
Well, I don't know what the others were thinking. I was worried. My thoughts were, you know, like you say, this is the plan I've put in play.
Yeah.
It's in play now and I have to stick with it. I always say, you know, you need to be in great shape, and you know, to a certain extent you make your own luck, but you need a lot of luck too.
Absolutely.
You need things to go your way, and something that went my way was I had Andreas to run with for 8 or 10 miles. And let me ask you this though, on a Lieto drive, when I saw you at that first turn, you looked relatively comfortable and you looked like you were moving certainly better than any of the other guys who were coming from behind at that point. So were you confident at that point? You had a good 26 miles with the training, the preparation you've done up at Mammoth with Ryan and the other boys up there?
Yeah, that first section on the Lieto drive, the 8 miles, I felt really good. You know, I mean, my quads didn't feel great.
Yeah.
So there was, I mean, as soon as I got off my bike, I knew my quads weren't in great shape, but I felt comfortable. The heat wasn't really hitting me hard. And even going into the lab, I still had, I think, 3 or 4 minutes on you, and I was like, okay, this can still be my race. And coming out of the lab, I ran that hill, which was really hot because we had a tailwind going up out of it.
Yeah.
And going up, for me, I tried to run not as slow as I could, but I wanted to run slow because I really didn't want to blow up. Yeah. But I knew if I was smart in that section and didn't get too hot, then that last 6 miles would be good. So was that the first time that you actually got a spot on me?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So when you make that left-hand turn at the bottom of the energy lab, yeah, you were right there. I mean, there was no one else around.
Yeah, and when you see someone like that, do you feel like it's easier at that point because you have a lock-on visual,
I think you get
basically?
I wouldn't say it's a surge of adrenaline, but you get, after chasing all day, to see your largest life right there in front, I think it's a nice feeling, and you kind of get that nice vindication that all the hard work's starting to pay off, you know. Yeah. I thought, and I'll be honest when I say this, I didn't think when I caught you I was going to run straight by. I knew you'd have something for me, and which is unusual because usually when you run that much time out of someone, I guess they get demoralised or deflated, and you normally go straight by.
Yeah, well, it was really unique because when you caught me and you went by, you got me a little bit, but then something clicked in me and I bridged across. And when I got up on your inside side there, I hung for a bit and it was a little bit uncomfortable, but then something did click, and the click, all of a sudden it got easy, and that was probably the best I felt running the last eight miles.
Yeah.
You know, that little section where we ran through about 2 aid stations, I think, about a mile and a half. And during that time, there was one moment within that run that I felt it switched. You know, was there something in your mind during that point when I was sitting right next?
I was just thinking just to be calm, and I mean, at that point, I guess we still had 4 miles to run, and which is a long way, you know. So my thoughts were just to run steady, and to try and use the downhills and the flats to do the same thing I'd done going into the energy lab, just to, you know, focus on technique and really try and get some leg turnover. But I was certainly relieved when I couldn't hear the footsteps any longer, you know, because it had been a long chase, and you know, it only takes quarter of a mile to blow up, and you know, there was still a long way to go. And I mean, it was a great duel we had out there. It was a great race. It was one of,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the hardest fought victories are always the sweetest.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I'm always at the end of finishing second, but but it's still sweet, you know, in the same sense. You know, I would love, as far as to win those races,
Yeah.
and that was my goal, of course. But to finish where I did at races that were that, as far as passionate and a big duel, is an honor also. You know, so
Yeah.
it's been fun. But awesome year.
It was good fun.
Yeah, look forward to this year, huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's been good.